Hi, good morning, class. So today we are going to talk about a really important topic. It's about bullying. So I just quick hands. How many of you guys have seen or experienced bullying in the past? Okay, so all of you guys here. So we're going to talk about bullying, but before we get into this subject, I wanted to ask you guys to come up with ideas of what bullying is, what you think it means, and then we can come up with a definition together as a class. So, quick hands, quiet hands. Who can tell me what bullying is? Anybody? Yes,
Bullying, it could be like a kid that wants to have like power to bully others.
Mm-hmm. A bully is someone who wants power. Power over others.
Correct.
Good job, Carolina. Okay,
Thank
Vanessa.
you.
Bullying is being mean to someone else, maybe because they're different, or because they're not considered like normal.
What else? Because can you explain a little bit more on what like different?
So if like a kid, maybe he's not able to afford like the new like Jordans or like those expensive brands, and he has to wear stuff that like maybe from like Walmart, like he might get bullied because others will think like, oh, like he's poor, like he can't afford these cool brands.
Yeah, so those are really really good examples. So sometimes people or students are mean to others because they don't fit in, right? They're not wearing the Adidas or Nike clothes, that you guys have on, or the shoes. Um, and so people will pick on other students because you can afford that, you have that, right? But they can't, right? They don't have that. So those are really, really good examples. Other things is maybe sometimes we pick on people because they look different from us, right? There's people that have certain disabilities, right? And then sometimes people will pick on them because of that, whether it's something like a learning disability. Sometimes it takes other people, they learn differently, right? Different styles. Or sometimes like you're born with something, with an illness, with a disability, right? And they look different than you, so people will pick on them. So there's all of these are examples of the different types of bullying. So I'm going to put a definition here for you guys, so I'll read it to you guys. So it says, bullying is when one person or a group of people, because sometimes it could be more than one people bullying, right? When one person or a group of people with more power can come from being more popular, stronger, or part of the group. They might repeatedly try to hurt the person physically, socially isolate them, or say and do mean or humiliating things to them. So doesn't necessarily mean that someone is just going to say mean things, but they can actually physically hurt you, like punch you, right? Jump you, beat you up. So sometimes it's not just verbally, but actually physically. Or even if it means somebody putting you to the side from the rest of the group, not asking you to join in, that can also be a type of bullying. So these are all different examples of bullying. And right now, with our technology and the world that we live in right now, we see bullying a lot on the internet too, right? You guys all have cell phones here. Most of you have cell phones. You guys have Facebooks, Instagrams, Twitters,
Even the news.
and so a lot of it, email addresses. So a lot of bullying can also happen now, not just in school or in person, but we can also see it, and it's called cyberbullying. So we also see cyberbullying happening, where it's sometimes you know the person, other times you don't know. They can create a fake account and start writing you. They can, threaten you and send you emails, and that's also bullying, even though it's not face to face. Okay, so that is what bullying is. I have another chart here where we're going to talk about. Distracted. Sorry. We're going to talk about now who is bullied. So I gave you guys note cards. So I want you on your note card to think about if you've ever been bullied, and if you haven't been, then think about someone that has been bullied, because you guys raised your hand earlier when I asked if you've been bullied or if you've seen bullying. So I want you to quickly think about an incident where you were bullied or where you saw someone being bullied. And I want you to think about who is bullied, why were they bullied. We kind of answered it a little bit in the other one, but just elaborate a little bit more. So go ahead, I'll give you guys a minute to write down your answer.
Teacher, my pen doesn't work.
Okay, I can give you one right now. So write down your answer for who is bullied. Okay, once you're done, if you can hand it to me so I can put it up on our poster. Okay, perfect.
People of color.
Okay, so I'm just going to read off Vanessa's really quickly while our other student is finishing up. So, who is bullied? New kids, kids with disabilities, and people of color. So let's see what that'll put. She was bullied before in elementary school, got called names. People didn't want to be friends or sit next to you. Okay, so these are all like examples. Like we talked about, yeah, maybe there's a new kid that comes from somewhere else and their culture is different, or it's not what you're used to, so they can get bullied for that, right? People of color, yeah, there's a lot of discrimination that people of color face because there's a lot of racism, right, in our country. And kids with disabilities, which we talked about, they're different from us. They learn differently, right? So a lot of times they do get bullied. And then good, like we got some specific examples of, yeah, people not wanting to be your friend or people not wanting to sit next to you. Okay, now I want you guys we're going to change the role a little bit and think about the person who is a bully. Think about why that person is a bully. Why do you think that people bully? So if you can write down your answer.
Hopefully you can read my writing.
Okay.
Sorry if it's messy.
It's okay. Yeah, I can read it. Okay, so Catalina was talking about people who bully. So she mentioned popular kids, the kids that maybe look mean and tough. So yeah, it's someone who is oftentimes bigger, older, right? That they have this power, whether it's popularity, right? That a lot of kids like them. So they have this power and they want to keep that power, right? So then they start bullying other people. But Vanessa, you brought up a really important point where you're talking about maybe these people were bullied in the past. That's true. Oftentimes they come from homes where they have problems, right? With their parents or in their neighborhood or with their brothers and sisters, that they bully them. So this is what they've learned. And so they come to school and they feel like they have to do that in order to avoid being bullied, at school. They choose to bully other people. Yes?
I also have one more I forgot to put. Usually, also I feel like kids bully because it could also be maybe like jealousy. Like you see someone, maybe like the new girl, like a lot of like high school movies, it's like you got like the new girl who shows up, maybe she's pretty, so like the like popular girls pick on her because they're like they feel threatened and like
Yeah. You're right. That is also a good example. We see a lot of movies where there's a lot of drama, right? Mostly between girls, where they're bullied